Hey, welcome to Broken World Entertainment, and this is my full breakdown and overview and thoughts on Wednesday, the Netflix series based on the Addams Family, because it, of course, is Wednesday Addams. The show, when I first heard about it, was a bit kind of, oh, why would they do that? When I saw a few of the trailers, I was kind of, I'm not sold on this. And then I watched the show, and it's great. It's actually really good, and I definitely highly recommend it. It's not perfect. There's definitely some uh, problems. Straight out of the bat, I'll go straight into the first thing that people will probably want to know and will ask: is it woke? Is it like just pushing agenda and, as the critical drinker would say, the message? No, it's not. But people will probably still watch it and say, yes, it absolutely is. It really isn't. There's a few lines of dialogue here and there that just kind of come and go, which is a bit, excuse me, a bit eye rolling. But it's literally just said and it's done and it's moved on. You know, it's nothing they linger on. My biggest issue with the show is, in fact, Morticia and Gomez and Lurch. The chemistry between Catherine Zeta-Jones and Louis Guzman is non-existent. Now, one thing to keep in mind, they're only in the very beginning of the first episode, and they're in a full episode, which I think was episode 5. Yeah, I think it was episode 5. Catherine Zeta-Jones was a terrible choice to be Morticia Addams. She just, I don't know what it is that she just does not embody Morticia. And she does this weird American accent, which does not work. I think she should have just spoke the way she normally does. But she whispers kind of when she speaks. It's very strange. And Louis Guzman, and I really like Louis Guzman. I know saying his first name is like Luis or something, but I always call him Louis. He plays, you know, when you think of Gomez Addams, you're always thinking of course, you're always brought back to the 90s film where he'd be like, Festa! Garamia! He's not like that at all. He's very almost straight, if you know what I mean. But there's just no chemistry between them two either. And I don't know whether they gave him prosthetic teeth or something. But when he speaks, it sounds like he's got fake teeth in. And I found it a bit difficult to understand what he was saying most of the time, which is strange because I have no problem understanding Guzman when he speaks. But it sounded, the problem with Lurch, like Lurch is next to nothing in the show. I think you see him full on like twice. Is they just got an actor kind of shadowed his face to give him them strange type of features. What we all know Lurch looks like. But the guy they got him did play him, for me, is far too young. So he throws you off. But that's it. That's the only actual complaints about the show. The kid who plays Pugsley is great. He did really good as Pugsley. Fester, who does show up, that's not a spoiler, it's in the trailer. He's okay. You know, you have to kind of look past a bit of the Fester, you know, in the film. He does kind of he acts more like Gomez from the films than Fester, oddly enough. His voice is a bit weird, you know, it's a bit, when you're thinking of Christopher Lloyd compared to this guy, yeah, it's a bit, but he's okay, he's decent, you know. He's only in like one episode, or was it two? I think it's one, and he's alright, you know. He's not there. He doesn't take over the story or anything. He's there just to help Wednesday move the story along. But then we get to actual Wednesday herself, played by Jenna Ortega. Fantastic. Fantastic. She absolutely embodies and nails the character of Wednesday. Can't praise that girl enough for this. She doesn't blink once in the entire show. The only time her face shows any emotion is, you know, that Wednesday smile for, oh, something terrible's happening to someone else. And it's just smile. She does show another emotion later, but I won't get into that because I'm not going to spoil any of this. But she is fantastic. And even, I'm sure you've all seen the clips because they are absolutely everywhere. The dance. The Raven dance, it's called. She came up with that entire dance. They just told her, we need you to dance. And she came up with it in like 2 days. She actually learned to play the cello for the show, to speak German for the show, and in between that, she remembered, oh yeah, I have to come up with some sort of dance, and came up with that. And the great thing with this dance scene is her facial expression does not change throughout the entire dance. So she's great. The side characters are actually pretty decent as well. Her friend, well, they kind of more become friends near the end, but her roommate anyway, Edith, who's a werewolf, she plays her character the way her character should be played, so she's great in it. The siren girl Bianca plays the bitchy character, just the one who people are complaining, oh, she's the bully. She's not a fucking bully. She was really good. Has a really good and interesting character arc as well. Gwendolyn Christie is the principal in it. And they play all their characters the way they should, because they're trying to make you think of what does this character have a ulterior motion, what's going on. And Christina Ricci, of course, the original movie Wednesday, is in the show. She plays a normie, as normal humans are called, who's a teacher, the only normie teacher in the school. So the show is about, it's a murder mystery, basically. It's about, there's a monster on the prowl. Wednesday wants to figure out what it is or who it is, why it's doing what it's doing, where it's come from. And it's a murder mystery. Fing is in it, of course, which was an actual bloke playing the hand. and Fing in this is great. You know, Fing was always interesting, and like, it's a hand, nothing more than a hand. It's like, how can you get much out of that? This version of Thing is great. It keeps flipping people off and everything. It's fucking hilarious. But yeah, overall, like, it's 8 episodes, and there's enough of the story that keeps you interested. It keeps you coming back for more. And I definitely want to see a season 2 of this. I'm sure there'll be, and there are a few mixed reactions out there. People are like, oh, it's too Scooby-Doo and shit. I kind of see what they're talking about, but it really isn't. And I got the whole reference of, oh, the school is like Hogwarts. I get that. The school is called Nevermore, and it's, you know, there's vampires at it, werewolves, gorgons, sirens, stuff like that. But overall, it's a great series. Tim Burton did a great job directing it. The look, the gothic look for it is great. And as I said, Jenna Ortega as Wednesday was fantastic. She was fantastic. As I said, my only issue was Gomez and Morticia. There's just terrible casting choices and just no chemistry between them. But then again, I could be looking too much into the original films. But either way, for me, there's just no chemistry. But other than that, the show was great. Definitely worth the watch. Very, very much recommend you checking it out. And as I said, Jenna Ortega as Wednesday, perfect casting choice. Anyway, with that, I'll leave it here for this one. Cheers, I'll catch you in the next one.